camera. We gotta go, we gotta go. Here.
Oh my goodness, it's so cool.
Welcome back to DONSLIFE. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. A few weeks ago, I made a video about installing a windshield protection film here on my Corvette C8. And I wanted to give everyone an update. And to do that, I thought we'd take a road trip to another province to attend to Cars and Coffee. I have Mrs. DONSLIFE with me here. We have a little bit of room for shopping, but just a little bit with intention because we don't want to overshop. That would be a bad thing. Trust me.
You don't, I do.
Well, maybe. But either way, stick around because I am going to give you this update on what I think of this windshield protection film. Because of this road trip, it'll be about 600 miles total. That's about 1,000 kilometers. But before we get into any of that, we better grab a coffee. Let's go. I see you got a coffee there. Is it good?
Yeah.
Ready to go? All right.
I needed it 3 hours ago.
Let's do this. Well, we are rolling into Edmonton and they are taking photo radar seriously, or traffic camera seriously. Come look at this. Show that screen. Look at that. Insanity. Welcome to Edmonton. Anyway, the windshield so far has been great. There is a little bit of distortion. We'll try and capture it on camera a little bit later. But so far, I'm happy with the choice. I don't have any extra glare from it or anything like that. So far so good. All right, here we are in the car parked. Mrs. DONSLIFE is in the last shopping place that we needed to go. When I say we, I mean her. So it's been about 6 hours in the city. I didn't want to bore you with any of that. Instead, I thought I would take this moment to show you what it's like to look through this windshield protective film. There's a little bit of distortion, which I mentioned before, but when I had it installed, he said this was his favorite by far. It had about 90% clarity, maybe better. And I think the passenger side might be a little better than the driver's side. I'm used to it, especially if you're looking at hills and landscapes and that type of thing, but I'm gonna turn the camera around, and I backed into a parking spot purposely so you could see the buildings and all the straight lines. And then what I want you to look for as I move the camera up and down, I'm guessing that you're gonna see the odd wave of distortion. So I'll stop having the camera pointed at me, and let's see if we can get this set up for you. I'm just going to zoom in here. We're just going to focus on the top of this building. Make sure it's zoomed in and focusing. It's hard to tell on a small screen if it's in focus, but I'm going to move the camera up and down, and if you see it wave at all, and what by wavy I just mean like, you know, a little bit of a wave or a ripple to it, then that would indicate the distortion that I see. If you're not seeing it, then that really goes to show how clear it is. But the clarity is pretty good. And from the outside of the car, which I'll get out in a second and show you, you can't even tell that you have a film on it. It's super windy outside. I might do some talking, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, so I'll just set this up. It is dusty, but I'm going to show you the windshield and the edges and everything, and you probably won't even be able to tell that the film's there, and that's the point. But if you look at the gravel outside, that is what we use for road salt, because regular salt, I'm joking of course, this is gravel, but regular salt for the roads isn't as effective. We use some, but when it gets really cold we have to use gravel, so of course that makes a lot of extra dust. So the car is pretty dusty, and this film is going to have a little bit of dust on it. Now I haven't even used the wipers since this has been installed. That's been about 3 weeks ago, and you only want to use your wipers when you need to. It's not going to hurt it, but over time it will scratch it, so they say don't use your auto wiper feature. Anyway, enough talking, let's go outside and have a look. So you can see the film is, well, you can't really see the film, it's right to the edge. Looks really good. All tucked under the weather stripping. But you can't really tell it's there. I certainly can't. It's a very clean install job. There's one bubble there, but that's not in the view of the driver. We got one bubble right there. But other than that, it's a really good install. Got some water spots from last time I washed it, and it rained a little, but it worked out pretty good. So my plan with this video was to give you an update on the windshield protective film. Again, we're only halfway through the journey, so I don't know what else is going to be left in this video. We have a Cars and Coffee we're going to attend tomorrow. It's a bit of a season opener here in Edmonton, but they're forecasting some rain. We'll still show up, but it could be a bust, so we'll see how that goes. But on the ride back, we're going to pay attention to the windshield and see if anything else happens. Maybe a rock will hit it. But stick around, I'll try and get Mrs. DONSLIFE, or at least myself, to entertain you as best we can. All right, we're back in the car. Did you get all your shopping done?
I did.
Okay.
7 hours worth.
7 hours.
7 hours worth of shopping.
I'm just glad it's over.
And a burned up credit card.
We're gonna go eat now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So no more shopping? Promise?
I can't promise, but everything closes in 20 minutes or
yeah, okay.
40 minutes. So
shopping's done.
Yeah.
We'll cut right here. You're a good runner. Just don't look at the camera. Wipers were good, no streaking. Happy with that.
Are you recording me?
Building down. There your lips looked after. All right, good morning. It is the next day. I've got Mrs. DONSLIFE here. 15 minutes ago, we were supposed to be at a Cars and Coffee, but there's a risk of rain, so it's been pushed back a couple of hours. So we're gonna go grab a coffee, but I thought since I have Mrs. DONSLIFE here, as a passenger with this windshield protection film, what's your experience so far?
I think it's been fine. The only thing I notice, if you see anything with a straight line, you'll get a little bit of a wobble, but compared to your BMW when you got your windshield replaced, it made me car sick, so I think this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mentioned the wobble thing when you were shopping, because I had a lot of free time to do commentary while you were shopping. But yeah, again, straight lines. We'll see if we can mimic it here, but from the passenger side, just going up and down slowly. I don't think it's even picking it up on camera. Well, so far so good. But we are going to run to the car wash. I'm going to clean the car, and we're going to look if there's any abrasion or scratches or anything like that to the film. So stay tuned. We are back in the DONSLIFE garage. It's a few days later because filming conditions weren't really great, but I do have an update for you. We actually were saved from a rock chip that I'm certain would have damaged the glass. Instead, it scored our windshield protection film, and it really isn't that bad, but it did its job. Let me show you. I'm just gonna hold a black rag here and behind him so we can try and focus on this, but there are two little dots. See when I move the rag? That's the film that scored. And I can tell you, just based on the bottom one, which would be to your right, it would have cracked the glass. So we completely avoided that. I'm really happy with that protection. So the final verdict, Mrs. DONSLIFE, I think it was worth it. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Saved us from a rock chip in the windshield.
Yes, she even got so mad as to call the person that flung the rock a jerk.
A jerk. He was a jerk.
So we avoided extra jerk damage. So we are going on a rally in a couple months. I'm really happy to have the windshield protection film as well as all the PPF on the car. But this will probably be one of the last times you see this wrap or this livery on here. We are going to be taking it off soon because we got to do something else. This was only intended for the winter. But I will leave a link in the video description below to which product this is that was installed on my windshield. So if you're interested, you can check out that link and maybe you have an installer near you. But if you like today's video, what do they do?
Thumbs up? I don't know. Hit the like button.
Please.
And subscribe.
Yeah, just subscribe. Don't consider it.
Don't consider it, just do it.
Just do it.
You know you want to.
All right, perfect. And on that note, we'll talk to you next time.
Oh no.